filled to the brimmels with cards and overflowing in many cases. I mean, in my own example, I've got half my cards actually sitting in my bedside table. So think about digital versions of all of those cards accessed in your phone via a single app. And when we talk about a mobile wallet, that's what we think about. So basically it's just an app that actually lets you do heaps more with your phone. So why would we actually want to do anything more with our phones? Well, let's have a look at what we're doing without even trying. So over 75% of New Zealanders now actually have a smartphone. In 2013 that number was at about 30%. By 2014 that number had doubled to 60%, and by our launch date in March this year that was at 75%. The growth has been absolutely astronomical. So then have a think about what you're all doing with your mobiles. They're the very first thing that you look at in the morning, generally, as a general rule, if you're as addicted as I am, and the very last thing that you look at before you go to sleep at night. And we're just using them for so many more things as well. We're more likely to leave our wallet at home than we are to leave our mobile. That's actually a fact. And if we do leave our mobile at home, we pretty much know within 2 minutes of putting it down that we've actually done that. So the other thing is that our phones have obviously just replaced so much more. They're now our cameras, our music players, our maps. And can I just have a show of hands from you guys in the room? Have a look up there. Have any of you guys got one of those wrapped around your phone today? How many? It's pretty phenomenal to me that even without us trying, people are starting to wrap their wallets around their phones. And why? Because it's just so much easier. Who wants to carry around this great big thing anymore? It almost feels a little bit retro in this day and age that we're still carrying around this piece with so many physical cards. So it wasn't too much of a stretch for us to imagine a world where you would only walk around with one thing in your back pocket, and that world looked something like this, except the sound's not working, guys. When technology doesn't work, isn't it a fantastic thing? It was working earlier, it's just sod's law, it never does when you need it to. Should I just play it without the sound? We'll just play it without the sound, it's fine. Oh, I won't click it on. There we go. You can have a look at the different categories anyway. So you can see here he's actually paid for his record with the phone. Next thing to do is he's paying with his coffee with the phone. Collecting reward points with the phone. Redeeming those points with the phone. Public transport with the phone. And as airline travel with the phone. And then afterwards he has a really, really, really good life. Now, while you're watching the end of this video, what was quite amazing about this video is we actually imagined this world before we had even developed the product, right? So we knew what we wanted it to be, but then how do we actually go about making it happen? Because it's all very well and good to talk about it in theory, but then how do we actually get this thing moving? So you've got to have a starting point, right? We've envisaged a brave new world there, and nobody in the world has managed to do all of those things at once. So you then have to think about what's a really good starting point for the country that you're operating in. And in New Zealand, we made the decision to start with payments. The reason we made the decision to start with payments is because everybody here uses cards, right? You have a mobile wallet, you want the customer habitually using it, pulling it out all the time to do things with it, and then you layer other service categories on top of it. And in New Zealand, we also had this really cool developing framework called contactless. And for those of you who are familiar with PayWave, and you use your PayWave cards everywhere, it's all of those terminals that actually enable PayWave. So then you start with payments. The next decision is what technology do you actually use for that phone to talk to the terminal? And it seemed like a no-brainer that we would use something called NFC. And all that does is it allows the conversation to start. It initiates the conversation with the terminal. Grossly oversimplified, but it's my marketer's version. So if you're going to use NFC in the phone, the next step is a given. Available initially on Android. Why? Android, at the point that we launched, Android was the only OS that had an NFC capability. Now, Apple, we were very, very closely watching what Apple were doing on the NFC front. And we waited through their iPhone 5 release, and there was nothing there for mobile payments. And then we're getting much closer to launch date, and lo and behold, finally in September 2014 with the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, they launched NFC in the phones for the very first time. Now, everyone asked us how we felt about that, and I think they were quite surprised when we said we were excited. For us, that was the last global major endorsement of NFC as a mobile payment technology. And we are pretty excited to see how and when that's going to come to New Zealand and how we can start having conversations about that. But like all good things with Apple, I'm sure that Apple will talk to us when Apple are ready. And so then there's the last equation. What underlying technology are we actually going to do to keep this payment safe and secure? If you're going to start with payments, it's got to be safe. And we chose to use something called secure element in the SIM. Now, if you want a really simplified version of that, think about the physical chip in your physical cards. And the secure element in the SIM actually emulates that. So it keeps the transaction very safe. It's a very mature and globally tested technology as it relates to payments. So we've got our starting point. Who needs to come to the party to actually make it happen? Now, our shareholders are 2 Degrees, Spark and Vodafone. What having those 3 MNOs at the table means is that it can be used on any mobile network in New Zealand. And so that actually allows us to get scale quickly. Now, it might surprise you to know that there are actually 1.1 million NFC-enabled Android devices in New Zealand today. And that's a pretty good starting point for a little country. The other person at the table, at the boardroom table, is Paymark, and they manage 80% of the country's EFTPOS transactions, and they also give us access to EFTPOS New Zealand, who manage the rest of them. So Semble works at any contactless terminal around the country, irrespective of whether it's supplied by Paymark or EFTPOS New Zealand. And you may well know that Paymark is owned by the 4 banks, so that also gave us access to the banks to have a conversation with our first service providers in the wallet. Now, in other global deployments of mobile wallets, nobody's managed to get the telcos and the banks to work together. So we were really punching above our weight in a way, thinking that we could do it in New Zealand, and we didn't over-intellectualise it too much. We just went, let's give it a go. First conversations in about March 2011, was it, Bridget? And we launched in 2015. So, you know, it was a long process to get across the finish line, but it was a really good feeling to actually get there. Most other countries have only launched with 1 or 2 credit cards. We launched with 20. So it's pretty phenomenal for us. So you can use Semble at contactless machines around the country, wherever you can use PayWave, if you've got an ASB or a Visa credit or debit card. So you've decided to launch this thing, you've got the partners on board, and then you've got to pull the thing together. Should be simple, right? This is our high-level system architecture, high level, to actually make the payments happen. It was one of the most difficult deployments one of our global vendors, Gemalto, had ever done, because it had so many parties actually hooking into it. And you just can't underestimate the time, the energy, the patience and the commitment to actually get us across the finish line. So what always strikes me as well is that you've got all that complexity and it ends up looking that simple. It's kind of phenomenal in a way. But that's made victory, I guess, feel all the more sweet that we were actually able to successfully launch this thing on March 31st, 2015 this year. You'll see there we've got 7 CEOs from some of New Zealand's biggest companies sitting side by side at a table promoting a product that they felt would be really good, product and an infrastructure that would be really, really good for not only New Zealand businesses but also the customers using the product. Any of you who have tried to get marketing sign-offs vertically through an organisation will realise that that in itself is a difficult thing. Now times that by, I think, 15 we had at one time. So even to get all those logos on the back wall like that, side by side, was pretty amazing. We didn't just launch with, we launched with payment at this launch event, but we also announced our first transport service provider. So we will be going live with Snapper in Wellington in the very near future. And we've also just completed our first trial of offers with Burger Fuel. So we were getting free fries there for a while as we were walking through the process. So how do you actually get Semble? Well, you need to have an eligible phone. And so of those 1.1 million NFC-enabled Android phones out there, close to 900,000 of them are eligible to use Semble today. So you go to 2 Degrees, Spark or Vodafone and you go and get your Semble SIM. For anyone who's interested, you can check out your eligibility at getsemble.co.nz. You can do it on your phone, go through, see if you're eligible, and Bridget Gallen down the back from Vodafone has got some Vodafone SIMs down there ready to go if you'd like. So get your SIM, you download the app for free from Google Play, you add your cards. Now this bit's quite interesting because you click on your bank brand, and you actually get taken out to their secure site. That's actually really important for customers when you're talking about payments. They want to stick with their bank to download the cards and bring them back in the wallet. The wallet will tell you you're ready to add your card, you just tap on it, and then you're ready to buy your first coffee with Semble. And you just, we call it hold, beep, go. You hold it just gently over the top of the terminal and you hear a beep and you're away laughing. There's a pretty cool feature on this as well. We call it always on. It means that you can actually make a payment transaction if you're on the phone, if your phone's off, or you've got very low battery charge. Or if you're super security conscious and you're totally freaked out by mobile payments, you can actually put additional layers of security on top by actually opening the app and choosing your card every time you want to pay. So we're about 10 weeks into our journey, and we've learned quite a few things along the way, and I'll give you some quick insights before I finish up on what we've learned so far. So what we know today, education is super important when you're launching a technology that's really new to the market. So we had some really good learnings from contactless. When PayWave first entered the country, they just got the cards out there. The retailers didn't know a lot about it, the customers didn't know a lot about it, and it actually wasn't a great result. So we took the learnings from that and decided we knew it was going to be a little bit of investment and time for a customer to actually get set up and using Semble, and we were going to develop some tools to help them get there. So we've developed digital tools and videos and kind of self-learning to actually help them get through that process. The second thing, thousands of customers around the country are now out there using Semble, so that's a really positive thing from our perspective. And they're starting to tell their Semble stories. We've had some pretty cool ones. There's someone tweeting today from Singapore. Somebody managed to use it in Warsaw, Poland the other day, which was one for the record, but the most interesting stories are the ones that have come locally. The guy who got trapped at the ice cream van with his kids with no wallet in his pocket, and then he went like that, realised he had his phone and they had a contactless terminal. And so he was able to just buy it with his phone. I was out with my 6-year-old the other day, forgot my wallet. She said, just Semble it, Mum. So, you know, it's kind of working for me too, because I always leave my wallet at home. They also like sharing their Semble stories. Social is being used as a support channel for us, and a lot of the customers self-solve through that channel. Often we don't even have to come in and answer the question. Digital is working really well for us. When you have to have an eligible phone to actually use Semble, it's really, really useful to be able to target the OS and the actual device right down to the model number, and we get great efficiencies through that process. And last but not least, more customers want to be able to pay with their phones, and we, since launch, we've whitelisted another 21 different phone types, just based on customers asking for it, and we will continue to do that. And hopefully we look to extending it to other OS in the future as well. So that's my short 10 minutes or slightly over. Thanks for having me, guys, and you can check us out at semble.co.nz.
All right, well, moving on to the meat of the event. I'm sure you guys are very interested in, I don't know if you can hear me, with our panel tonight. So can we have actually our panelists over here? We have Ken from Buddy Bid, Wendy Thompson from Socialites, Makaia from Motivate Me, and of course Alex from Brickley. Please come over here. Thanks for joining us.
Like this? Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for joining us for tonight. And I do have a lot of hard questions for you, so I hope you guys are ready. Anyway, please make sure, I'm going to put up, of course, a Twitter wall, and please, if you can, tweet your questions. I'll try to grab some from the audience as well during the discussion. But to start off, I'd like for each one of you to actually introduce yourselves. Instead of me doing the boring bio stuff, I'd rather that them actually saying something about themselves, the business, and how they've contributed to social commerce. Maybe we can try with Alex.
Hello. So I've been Grab1's content and community manager for the last 9 to 10 months. I've been at Grab1 for 3 years, so I was kind of intrinsically embedded in the culture and the brand. So I was quite well placed to take over the social channels and be the voice of Grab1. I guess I kind of contribute towards social commerce every day. Grab1 is one of the world's biggest e-commerce sites, and although email is our primary channel of driving traffic, social has a really strong role to play in supporting that as well.
Wendy?
Hello. Hi everyone. Okay, I'm on the slide. My name is Wendy. I run a social media marketing company called Socialites, and we look after social media for clients, but we sort of have 3 things that we do in terms of social commerce. So one is we try to anyway, we reduce costs for our clients using social media. 2, we drive sales on and offline, and 3, we also build up communities, which gives that brand loyalty.
Good day everyone, my name is Makaia. I run a business called Motivate Me. I'm kind of thinking why the hell am I here tonight? I feel I've just been thrusted into this world, and but my business, I guess, was developed and grew and actually functions every day on social media, Facebook primarily, and it still kind of blows my mind how it's all working and doing quite well for my business. Yeah, so that's me, and yeah, just check out my Facebook page, my website, it's all Motivate Me NZ, and yeah, social media is my thing apparently.
Hi, my name is Ken Brickley. I'm co-founder of BuddyBid.com. We're a social commerce software company that helps brands, small businesses, large businesses make money inside of Facebook and social in general. We do that in a few ways, but primarily we help brands fish where the fish are, I suppose, and it's as simple as that. We'll go into more detail, I'm sure.
Perfect, thank you. I'm not so sure if we can, actually Ken has a video that would like to show. I just hope the sound works, but if it doesn't, I think we'll just give it a shot. Yeah. Let's try.
I think I need to reset the room, but I've been locked out of the cupboard. I'm not even kidding.
While they're doing that, I can elaborate, I suppose.
So we're in the Brave Online warehouse, and we're in the wine division, where every month we ship more than 70,000 cases around Australia, and mostly to an older demographic. So Buddy Bib helped us find a new demographic, a younger demographic on Facebook, and actually built the app where we could transact, and so younger customers could buy wine in an environment where they were comfortable. So to actually get a person to bid is quite expensive, and what we found is on Facebook, through Buddy Bib, it's less than half the cost. Month on month, we have been increasing our sales and the volume of product that we've been doing through Facebook. We've seen a 25% increase month on month. We've seen our page likes go from 6,000 to 14,000 people. And we've seen that now that we've got the live Facebook auctions, people are actually sharing those auctions with others and are talking about the wine that they purchased and what they thought of it. The customer feedback from using the Facebook auctions has been excellent. People have really enjoyed being in a platform that they're very comfortable with. And we also have about 30,000 rating and reviews on wine on our website, and that's increasing because of the Facebook customers. The Buddy Bib staff have been very good at helping us course correct, so we will try new things, try different advertising, try new products, and so their insights have enabled us to weekly get better revenue and better conversion rates. So I would absolutely recommend Buddy Bib for any company that really wants to monetize their social media channel, get new customers, and for us, it's actually given us a whole new sales distribution channel.
So I'm actually going to segue to the next question, which is investing in. Thanks, Dylan. Investing in social, is it really increasing in sales, or is it more of savings when businesses or entrepreneurs actually go into social? What are your thoughts on that? Anyone? It's looking at Ken.
I think it can be both, depending on what your features are. But I know, like for some of my clients, one of their main goals is to reduce the number of calls to call centres, that cost them like $6 every call, or $9, whatever the number is. And what we find is through social media, if people are coming to our Facebook page or Instagram page and we're answering questions there, it's only costing something like 20 or 30 cents. I'm making these numbers up, they're not exact, but it's a lot less than, otherwise I'm getting in trouble with my clients for giving me seconds away. But basically that's one way that they save money. It's literally by kind of cutting the call cycle down. And the other way is literally direct sales that also can help, depending on what you're selling.
Okay.
A couple examples from our customers. One, of course, is just driving more sales, more product sales, and the second is the value of data. If you can identify and attract new clients or revive old dormant customers, what is the value, the lifetime value of a customer? I think that's really important to factor into the equation.
Yeah, in terms of saving, I think obviously Wendy's covered the customer service aspect, and that's really important. There's also the kind of market research that social enables you to do pretty much in real time. As campaigns are ongoing, you can kind of steer them in the right direction, really engage them, get through social. You can ask people directly what they thought of certain experiences, things like that. And you would pay, that was going there from Nielsen, you would pay Nielsen thousands of dollars to get some of the information that you can quite easily and readily get through your social followers.
All right. Do you have anything to add, Makaia?
I should contribute. Oh no, I guess companies are looking at social media channels or, promoting or advertising products and services they can really narrow down, the audience that they're speaking to. I know for myself, companies come to me because they have a very engaged audience who trust, kind of what I speak about and what I kind of post. And I don't know the stats, but I would assume that the conversion rate for sales from the money that they're spending with their ad versus what they would pay on a TV ad or a radio ad or a billboard would be a lot better and a rate for them or return on investment for them. So if they choose the right client and the right page or the right channel, then they can have a lot higher turnover, I guess, on their social spend or advertising spend.
Thank you. So next question is, how long should a business actually invest in social before they can see, a turnaround in sales or conversions? Should we invest in, for 3 months, a year? Is that when we start seeing, increase in the bottom line of a business, based on your experience?
I kind of, in a way, be reluctant to put an actual time frame on it. I would say that don't give up until you've tried every avenue, and depending on your product, you need to find the right medium within the right channel. If you think about purchasing process you go through when you're looking to buy a piece of electronics, maybe Bluetooth speaker or something like that, you're less likely to purchase it because you saw an ad on Facebook than you are after seeing the product review on YouTube, hearing it, seeing someone interact with it. So that's an example where YouTube actually leads the way in that category in terms of converting to sales. So yeah, just explore all those avenues and the avenues within the different channels before you kind of, give up altogether on social. There's definitely something there for everyone. It's just a case of finding the right channel for it.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I wouldn't have a time frame to, as you say, but really do your research on the person or the company or the page or whatever channel you're looking at to advertise the product, and just know what their engagement's like and what their communication style is like and how they sell their product. Because I know for myself, I've had some really good results in gaining sales instantly for companies or products that I would post or talk about. So I wouldn't say a time frame. I'd just say just choose your channel or your specific person or company or page or whatever you want to say that suits your product and market.
I'd probably say that it depends on the sales cycle of your product as well. A few examples. I mean, we have customers in the wine and beverages, as you saw earlier. We have a lot of motor dealerships as customers. Flybys is a customer of BuddyBit. That was a good example of day one, putting something up, letting the public pay or bid with their unused Flybys points. Went crazy on day one, right? So we've had jewelry auctions, buy now, as well as auctions. So in the wine sector, probably about 80% of our sales, maybe even more than that now, are just straight buy now. But we're putting that buy now button inside of social rather than steering them out. I think if you look at your own Google Analytics reports, you'll see the bounce rate from Facebook advertising is higher than you want it to be, and we found that when we bring the transaction and attach it to content, you still have to have great content, right? But you can make that content transactional content and let them buy when they're excited, and don't make them go somewhere else and fill out a lot of form and remember a new password, all of those things. We find bounce rates fall below 30% quite regularly. We've seen single-digit bounce rates and conversion rates climb very quickly.
Perfect. Now, maybe this is a good time as well to share your experience. If you have a certain campaign that you've done, probably grab one as well, since you did mention it's more email marketing, but maybe you could also give us an example. Paint us a picture one successful campaign to share to the audience, that brought about a lot of money or cash in for your merchants, for example? Yeah.
So at the start of the year, after returning from a well-earned Christmas break, we were looking for a way to re-engage our core audience who were doing the same. They've been away for Christmas, away to the batch, not really checking their emails as much as they do on a working day. So Grab One needs to hook those people, get them interested in what we're doing again. So the way we opened the year was with a social campaign called People's Choice. And the idea of People's Choice campaign is pretty old school. But people love to have their voices heard, and I'm sure the community managers in the room will know it's mainly when they've got an issue and they're wanting to complain. So it's really nice to start the conversation with something positive. So we went and asked our audience what have been the real incredible experiences you would have had with our Grab One, and they came back in the thousands. We generated over 6,500 comments. We reached 500,000 people with this campaign. And not only did it give a little hook to get people re-engaged with Grab On at the start of the year, it also actually fed into our sales strategy. So we suddenly have all this information of deals that people really enjoyed, really got a kick out of. We asked them in a bunch of different ways through a series of about 10 posts. And it was just phenomenal. We got a real picture of what our customers want, what they expect from Grab On, and we were able to kind of go into Q1 with a real clear plan of what we needed to deliver.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Wendy, I'm sure you have an example.
I've got a few examples, but I thought I'd try and share a really practical one. So a lot of businesses don't have online. So when you've got an online product that you're selling, it's quite easy to measure conversions and how much where your sales come from, especially with social media, because you can put a pixel in or you can track it through Google Analytics. So I thought it'd be really handy to share a campaign that we do with our client, Mackrill. Now there are big box retailers selling lots of DIY things. And we've got an ongoing campaign with them sort of based on 3 strategies, which is we kind of provided lots of really awesome educational content through YouTube videos, inspirational things like here's your beautiful Scandinavian bedroom ideas. And we also celebrate our fans every weekend, so we put up a post on Facebook saying, hey everyone, what have you been up to this weekend? We get normally about 100, 200 sort of pictures, and I'm like, oh my god, because I can't even nail anything in straight. So I'm just like, wow, these guys are crazy. But it's a really kind of engaged community that we built up, and it's what happens is every now and then I have to make sure my wages are relevant to the client. So what we do is we do a post or something that's purely on Facebook. So Martin does a lot of advertising, as you can imagine. So we do something just on Facebook or just on Instagram or Pinterest. And the other day we did one, and I was so proud I asked if I could share it with you guys today. And it was all about rugs, which I know are very exciting. But anyway, rugs, they sell a lot of rugs. And we did a post asking people to choose their favourite rug on Facebook. Put a couple of $100, was it, for behind it? Not a lot of money. And went out to the nation. Literally overnight, so it was on a Friday. On Saturday, their category sales for rugs went up 45% across all their stores. They've got 100 stores across the country. And it lasted for 3 weeks. So I was really happy. I was like, yay, I can stay.
Happy clients. Perfect. You have a unique business model, actually, Makaia, and we would love to hear your story about, a campaign, maybe not necessarily a campaign, but your business model around social to make your membership sales go up the roof or increase. Maybe you can share. No, it is related. You can answer that a little bit. It is related, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of the campaign, successful campaigns, I don't have one specific one. I guess, to be honest, it's I'm really lucky my page has grown to the point where I do have to be really careful and thoughtful about what I put on there. And my successful ones come down to the ones that I put a lot of me into, and the product or the service or whatever I'm talking about is actually really works well in my life, my lifestyle. And when I spend time to actually put me into the campaign, I do get a really good result, reach-wise, sales-wise, conversion-wise, or whatever stats you want to kind of look at it. if some days I'm in a rush and what I call empty posts, if I put a post where I'm just not even, there's no thought or no kind of me behind it, you can just see it in the likes and the comments and the interaction. It's just like, it's non-existent, and I'm just like, yeah, I knew it was. My heart wasn't in it when I posted it, my head wasn't in it, and I just rushed it. So it really does show me the time I need to put into things. Do you want to ask me now?
No, because I knew that you didn't have a specific campaign, so that's why I was asking. Maybe it's this good time actually to share your story. Yeah, because we invited Makaia because she has a unique story to tell, right? You can do it.
Okay, so most people don't know about my business, but it's a membership-based business. That's where I primarily make the money in my company. Motivate Me has been around for 3 years now. It's 3 years and 2 months. In 2 months' time, it'll be 3 years old. And it was born on Facebook, and my company functions fully on Facebook now. Like if Facebook fell over tomorrow, my company would be dead. And it's exciting and scary at the same time. Hence why I'm investing a lot of money in IT right now, building my own platform, but and it's stressing me out. And it costs so much freaking money. But primarily we're a motivational company for women around healthy lifestyle, total well-being. But food and fitness are my two anchoring topics. So they're my two things I speak about mostly on my page. Products and services underlie those. So from the beginning, July 2012 is actually when I started my page. It was all very much a personal journey. So I developed an audience, I guess, that was very engaged in what I was doing, trusted me, believes in me, and there for the journey. So I guess that helps now with what it has evolved so much, it blows my mind. But memberships at the moment are at 1,700, so I have 1,700 registered members in the company. The Facebook page is at 78,000 followers, and then I've got other social media channels as well, but Facebook's kind of the driving force for me. And yeah, and things are going well. I have a good retention rate with memberships, so renewals are kind of around this 80% mark annually, people pay membership. And then internally, once they become a member, I have sales channels within that. So I have a retail line just that I sell to my members, so just to 1,600 people, and that's my second biggest revenue channel in the company. And then my third biggest channel is my PR and social media advertising. So my Facebook page makes my third biggest kind of revenue in the company, and that's been more so over the last year since the page has jumped kind of from 40,000 to nearly 80,000 followers. Does that explain?
Yes, definitely. Okay.
You can ask me more questions later, so I know I haven't covered everything.
That's great. That's great. So I'll give you one live example as a fantastic umbrella company called Blunt. If anyone's heard of Blunt, hashtag Blunt. And another one is Shave Union, which two favorite brands. You'll see a lot more social commerce from both of those. You can buy their product or bid on their products right now. If you go to one of Fairfax's new implementations of Buddy Bid, which you can find at auctionstuff.co.nz. So that's a live example. Historical good example is, I'll take from the wine sector because it was, so every time somebody places a bid on using Facebook, a few things happen. You can choose to hide your bid from your friends, but the brand goes viral when you place a bid. But more importantly, the parent brand is getting all of the underbidder information, telephone number, email address. So those are really hot leads that somebody can follow up on, right? But most importantly, Facebook user ID is going back in and fueling the ad spend programmatically so that next week's advertising spend inside of Facebook is much smarter than last week's spend. And that continues and continues. And so the more transactions that occur, we can steer your ad spend in a way that's very smart. So smart that cost per acquisition can get can get, when you do this programmatic micro-targeting, it can get really efficient. And so a fun example is we did a page post on a client's page. Looking at the data, we could see that married 30-plus female who like yoga, we could acquire new customers in that category for mixed case of red wine. So I don't know how motivated they were, but at a cost per acquisition, single-digit cost per acquisition, I won't give the exact numbers, but a factor of many, many, many times more affordable than traditional channels, and so that's one insight.
Perfect. Let's move on to the behavior of consumers online. Okay, so we all know that, when it's the brick and mortar, of course, consumer behavior is totally different online with e-commerce, the usual shops. But let's focus and zero in into social consumer behavior. Based on your experience, what is it like? What's a typical, person, average person who's actually buying products on Facebook, on any of the social channels out there? I told you it was hard questions, right? But
I think from what I see, people buying products, they're quite normal. They don't look any different than everyone else here.
Okay.
Okay. No, but basically, what is really interesting on social media with people buying is they will tell you if they like it or don't like it.